celebrating 16 years of Young Turks.
Hello and welcome to the CNBC special from Zinnov Confluence 2018. I'm in conversation with Nithin Kamath from Zerodha. Nithin, thanks a lot for joining us on the program once again. Many years since we first had you on Young Turks, right?
Yes, I think 2012-13 when I was younger.
Yes, right. The business is much younger now. Of course, Zerodha has now evolved. It's one of, if I have the numbers correct, and it's the third largest brokerage in the country now. You've got a license from the RBI, and I believe shortly you'll be starting a lending service as well. Right. So tell us a little bit about that and where Zerodha is placed now.
Right. In terms of trading volumes, I think we are already the biggest in the country.
Okay.
In terms of active clients, so we're probably just behind ICICI right now.
All right.
So hopefully, we can continue growing and, maybe become the largest there as well by the end of the year.
By the year end, by 2018 end?
Hopefully, hopefully if markets behave well, hopefully by the year end.
Okay.
And about NBFC, so we have grown our broking business, but then what has also happened is the ancillary business to broking is this margin funding and loan against securities, right? So where people want money either to buy more stocks or they have stocks and they want to borrow money against it. So for this, we haven't yet started that piece of the business. So it has been pending for a while. And so hopefully this year, in the next 2 months, we should be live with both the pieces.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the rationale in expanding into the lending part of the business, correct? Is this something that you heard your users want? Right. Or is this something that you thought was a natural progression to build out Zerodha over the next few years as not just, a brokerage company, but something bigger?
Yeah, so right now, we are a high beta stock, right? As in, we are bigger beta than the biggest beta in the markets. So, because, if you look at how my account openings work for Zerodha, it's, you can actually plot the Nifty graph on it and it'll look exactly the same, right? So we want to kind of bring down that volatility that's associated directly with, with the underlying stock markets. And lending is like a natural progression, I think, especially this loan against securities and margin funding, this is something that ideally we should have done a couple of years back.
Okay.
Now, being a bootstrap business comes with its own restrictions. But anyways, better late than never.
Right. Are there others in the country that are doing this, lending against securities? Give us a sense of the competitive landscape and therefore who or what are the entities that you're up against?
No, every traditional broker that we compete with ICICI to Sharekhan to everyone, so they all offer lending against securities and margin funding, right? So it's kind of a no-brainer for a broker not to do it. Right, so we are not trying to get into any unsecured lending. That's not a business that we currently understand well, right? So here you have collateral, which is a stock lying with you. So it's a lot more safer to kind of lend against.
In terms of other lending, you have a license from the RBI. Are you looking to expand into SME loans to SMEs and so on and so forth? How would that work? It's also becoming a competitive space, right? You have Capital Float, you have a bunch of other companies that are doing this directly.
I mean, there we don't really see a USP that we can bring on the table, right?
Okay.
So as I said, it's already competitive and a lot of really qualified people running it. So we don't really intend to do any of that right now. For us, what's happening is as we grow with our clients, our AUM is growing significantly. So as the AUM grows, the opportunity to lend against is also growing exponentially for us. So we intend to stick around that.
All right. So tell us about, from the technology point of view, what are some of the newer technologies? Are you using artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain in any manner? Even if it's small experiments within Zerodha for smaller products or services, give us an insight into some of the newer lines that we can expect.
I mean, these buzzwords, we haven't really found any real life use case yet, So
right.
I don't really know what I can do with blockchain AI in our business because blockchain, maybe exchanges can use it, maybe depositories can use it, but I don't see a use case for brokers. AI maybe to use market data to predict where the markets are going,
There are some small startups that have started doing that, right?
Yeah, but then as a business, we don't advise, right? So we have said we want to be execution only. So I don't really see a use case of AI on the execution side of things as well. So currently no use case, right? But what we do, which is doing really well for us, is we also run an incubator called Rainmatter.
Okay.
Right. So what we have done is we have opened up everything that we do as a business as an API.
All right.
We call it like a broking as a service model. So startups can come build over us, right? So startups have to just build a user experience. They can use us for the underlying execution, So that thing is done really well. So we have 9 startups who are working with us.
All right.
And so super excited about that.
So tell us a little bit about Rainmatter. How does it work? Do you take equity in the startups that are part of the incubator program? Are you looking at over a period of time building out some of those startups as full-fledged products or services that Zerodha offers directly?
Right. No, I mean, so see, the big challenge for a broking business today in India is the market's extremely shallow, right? As in, last year there were probably 6 million Indians who invested once a year in the market, right? So, which is, I mean, how do you build a business, right? I mean, someone like Paytm has 300 million users, right? So, I mean, 6 million is extremely small. As a broker, we have realized, as a broker, we decided that we want to solve 2 problems. One is execution and one is education. So, on both of these, we probably run the most popular initiatives, not just in India, around the world. But then what we also realized is that unless the experience itself, people don't have the bandwidth to learn today. Execution only appeals to people who already trade the markets, right?
Correct.
So, we realized that unless we probably have a WhatsApp kind of a movement, where you build something which is user experience wise can get new people in, probably Indian markets won't grow, right? And so that's why we said let's partner with startups. Now the problem for startups in fintech is it's just not about money, right? As in, to validate a product, you need trust of people with their money, right? Unlike a transactional e-commerce play, right, where someone will just come transact just to try out the platform. People won't come park their money in a new age startup just because they think it's a nice, cool platform. People want to know where their money sits, right? So what we're saying is we have solved the execution problem. Why don't you come partner with us and solve the user experience problem, right?
Or the education problem.
Education, whatever, right? Whatever can get the new people into the markets, right? So we do put out between $500,000 to $1 million of investment into each of these startups, and more importantly, what we offer is actually an audience to validate the product, right? So today we have like 650,000 active clients, right? So a startup can come, we kind of put them in front of our audience and say, oh, here's this product, do you want to check it out, right? If 650,000 people don't like it, it's not a good idea, right? So so they can quickly move from that product to something else, right? So,
but what are some of the products that have developed that you think you're going to be able to build out in a longer term horizon? Give us an example or 2.
So some of the I think really cool ones that have come out is Small Case. Small Case has built a thematic investing platform. So like the way we buy and sell stocks, you can actually buy and sell ideas. Right? So in India, the problem is the ETF market is extremely shallow, right? So this is like a quasi ETF play. The reason US has blown out is because of ETFs, right? So Small Case is trying to be like a quasi ETF platform where people can come buy and sell ideas, which is a portfolio of stock with an index to it, right? We're just about to launch an options trading platform.
Okay.
A backtesting algorithmic trading platform for non-programmers. So we're kind of doing a whole bunch of things there.
All right, very interesting. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect from Zerodha over the next 2 years, right? What is your target now after you become the largest brokerage in the country and having nailed the execution play? What next for you?
What keeps me awake in the night is how do we grow the capital markets in India, right? I mean, being a largest, it's like being a big fish in a small pond, right? As in it's nothing exciting.
Shallow pond, let's say.
So I think guys like what Flipkart has done, Paytm has done, I mean, these guys have actually grown the markets, right? So that's something that we want to do, right? We want to be able to somehow figure the next 10 million Indians who come to the capital markets. Getting these people in would mean that we are probably in a way helping the economy, right? Economies don't grow if people keep money in the fixed deposit, gold, etc., right? They have to be putting it behind entrepreneurs.
So what's the one idea that's sticking in your head and you're trying to work on?
So one of the things that we want to do is Indians like fixed deposits. Right, so bonds currently yield you better than fixed deposits.
Correct.
And retail currently doesn't invest into bonds. So that's
one of the things that you're working on. All right, Nithin, thank you very much for giving us an insight into what Zerodha might be doing next. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thank you.
Celebrating 16 years of Young Turks.